Cancer can be silent, but your body is constantly talking to you. The question is, are you listening? Most cancers don't show up with sirens blaring. Instead, they slip in quietly, hiding behind symptoms so common, most people brush them off, until it's too late. That's exactly why you need to know these 7 critical signs, because catching cancer early can mean the difference between life and death. In fact, some cancers have a 99% survival rate if you catch them in time. But if you wait, that number drops fast. So today, I'm breaking down the 7 most important warning signs your body gives you when something's not right. Some of these signs might surprise you, and some you might even be feeling right now. Let's get into it, because knowing what to look for could save your life or someone you love. Number 1, unexplained weight loss. Let's talk about something most people love to see, the numbers on the scale going down. But here's the thing, when you're losing weight without trying, and especially if you drop more than 10% of your body weight within 6 months, that's a red flag your body is waving loud and clear. This kind of unexplained weight loss could be an early warning sign of several serious cancers, including stomach, pancreatic, lung, or esophageal cancer. So, what's actually happening inside your body? Cancer cells can disrupt the way your body processes energy, almost like they hijack your metabolism. Tumors can release chemicals that speed up calorie burning, even if you're not eating less or moving more. On top of that, many cancers suppress your appetite, so you naturally eat less without even noticing. Combined, this creates a perfect storm of weight loss that feels mysterious, but it's really your body sounding the alarm. The important thing to remember is that unexplained weight loss isn't something you can afford to brush off, especially if it happens quickly. It's tempting to celebrate effortless weight loss, but in this case, it's a symptom, not a victory. The right move is to contact your doctor and ask for a thorough evaluation. Blood tests, imaging scans, and checking key cancer markers can help identify the cause, whether it's cancer or another condition like thyroid problems, diabetes, or even digestive disorders. Catching this early is everything. If cancer is the cause, early diagnosis dramatically improves your chances of successful treatment. If the weight's falling off and you don't know why, don't ignore it. Listen to your body, it could save your life. Number 2, unexplained bleeding. When it comes to your health, seeing blood where it doesn't belong should always make you pause. Unexplained bleeding is one of the clearest warning signs your body can give, yet it's often ignored or brushed off as something minor. But here's the truth, whether it's nosebleeds that won't stop, blood in your urine, blood in your stool, or coughing up blood, these could all be signs that something serious, like cancer, is happening inside your body. So why does cancer cause bleeding? Tumors, as they grow, can invade nearby tissues and blood vessels, causing them to break down and bleed. In the case of colon cancer, bleeding from the digestive tract can turn your stool dark and tarry, which happens when blood gets partially digested along the way. For bladder or kidney cancer, you might see pink or red urine, even if you feel fine. And for cancers of the lungs or throat, coughing up blood could be the first signal that something's wrong. The reason this matters so much is that bleeding from cancer often means the tumor has already developed to a more advanced stage, and the earlier you catch it, the better your chances of survival. That's why immediate medical attention is critical. Don't ever assume it's harmless or wait to see if it goes away. A simple test, like a stool sample, imaging scan, or endoscopy, can give your doctor important clues about where the bleeding is coming from and whether cancer might be involved. Bleeding that doesn't have a clear cause isn't normal. Whether it's a drop or a lot, your body is telling you something, and the smartest thing you can do is listen and act fast. Number 3, extreme fatigue that doesn't improve with rest. Let's face it, we all feel tired sometimes. But there's a big difference between normal tiredness and extreme fatigue that doesn't go away, no matter how much you rest. If you wake up feeling like you ran a marathon overnight, even after 8 or more hours of sleep, or if everyday tasks like climbing a flight of stairs suddenly leave you out of breath, that's not just being tired, that's your body waving a red flag. This kind of deep, unshakable fatigue can be an early warning sign of cancer, especially blood cancers like leukemia or cancers that have started spreading to other organs. One reason for this is anemia, which happens when your body doesn't have enough healthy red blood cells to carry oxygen to your tissues. Certain cancers can disrupt the production of red blood cells, leaving you constantly drained, foggy, and weak. On top of that, some cancers produce inflammatory chemicals that trigger a constant feeling of sickness and exhaustion, almost like your body is permanently stuck in flu mode. This isn't the kind of tiredness you can fix with coffee or a weekend of extra sleep. It's chronic, it builds over time, and it gets progressively worse. Don't ignore extreme fatigue, especially if it feels out of proportion to your lifestyle. If you're sleeping well, eating fine, and not overexerting yourself, but you're still wiped out every day, it's time to get checked. A few simple blood tests can check for anemia, thyroid disorders, or even cancer markers. Remember, fatigue might seem harmless at first, but in some cases, it's the very first whisper your body gives you that something serious is going on, so pay attention. Number 4, swollen or unexplained lymph nodes. Most of us don't think twice about lymph nodes until we suddenly feel a lump under our skin. These small, bean-shaped nodes are part of your immune system, working quietly to filter out infections and harmful invaders. But when a lymph node swells up without any clear reason, especially in your neck, armpit, or groin, it's time to pay attention. Normally, lymph nodes swell when you're fighting off a cold, flu, or infection, and they shrink back down once you recover. That's normal. But if a node becomes firm, painless, and keeps growing, or if you can't link it to any recent illness, this could be an early sign of cancer, particularly lymphoma or leukemia. Cancer cells from other parts of the body can also spread through the lymphatic system, causing nodes to enlarge, even if the original cancer started somewhere else. The tricky part is cancerous lymph nodes are often painless in the early stages, which makes them easy to overlook. Some people discover them by accident while showering or getting dressed. But if a lymph node stays swollen for more than 2 to 3 weeks, grows larger, or feels unusually hard, it's time to get it checked. Your doctor may recommend blood tests, imaging, or even a biopsy to find out exactly what's going on. Remember, your lymph nodes are like internal alarm bells. They're designed to protect you, but when they stay swollen without reason, they're telling you something could be seriously wrong. The sooner you act, the better your chances of catching cancer early, when treatment works best. So if you find an unexplained lump, don't panic, but don't ignore it either. Number 5, skin changes, new or changing moles. Your skin has a story to tell, and sometimes, that story includes warning signs of cancer. One of the most important changes to watch for is a mole that suddenly looks different or a new mole that appears out of nowhere after your 30s. Most moles are harmless, but when a mole starts to change shape, color, size, or texture, it could be a red flag for melanoma, the most dangerous type of skin cancer. Melanoma is sneaky. It often starts small but spreads fast if ignored. The good news? Caught early, it has a 99% survival rate. That's why knowing what to look for could literally save your life. The best way to check your moles is to follow the ABCD rule. Asymmetry, one half of the mole doesn't match the other. B, border, irregular, jagged, or poorly defined edges. C, color, multiple colors, brown, black, red, white, or blue, within the same mole. D. Diameter, larger than 6 millimeters, about the size of a pencil eraser. E. Evolving, any noticeable change over time, getting bigger, itching, bleeding, or crusting. New moles that pop up suddenly in adulthood also deserve attention, especially if they look different from the others on your body. Skin cancer doesn't always come from existing moles, it can start fresh. Your skin is your largest organ, and it's constantly giving you clues. When something changes, don't ignore it. A quick visit to your doctor or dermatologist for a skin check could catch melanoma early, giving you the best chance at a full recovery. Number 6. Persistent pain that progresses over time. Pain is something we all deal with from time to time, but persistent pain that gradually gets worse is a different story. This isn't the kind of ache that comes from sleeping in a weird position or pulling a muscle at the gym. This is pain that sticks around, builds up over weeks or months, and often stops responding to medications you once relied on. That's a big red flag your body is trying to get your attention. For example, a headache that intensifies despite painkillers could be a sign of a brain tumor, especially if it starts interfering with your daily life. Similarly, ongoing abdominal pain that keeps getting sharper, not better, could point to something growing where it shouldn't be, like in your stomach, liver, pancreas, or colon. Here's why this matters. Pain caused by cancer isn't random, it usually happens because a tumor is pressing against nerves, bones, or vital organs. As the tumor grows or spreads, it puts more pressure on surrounding tissues, which is why the pain often worsens over time. Chronic, progressive pain is not normal, especially when there's no obvious injury or explanation. If you find yourself reaching for stronger pain meds or losing sleep because the pain just won't quit, don't ignore it. Track the pain, when it started, where it's located, how it feels, and what, if anything, makes it better or worse. This helps your doctor piece together the bigger picture. Early diagnosis can make a life-saving difference, so trust your instincts. If something feels off, get it checked. After all, persistent pain might just be your body's way of sounding the alarm, and you don't want to hit snooze. Number 7. Changes in bowel habits or difficulty swallowing. When it comes to bowel changes, consistency is key. If you've always been regular, but now you're constantly constipated or having frequent diarrhea, and there's no change in your diet, that's a red flag. Cancer in the colon can partially block the bowel, disrupting the smooth flow of digestion. This blockage can shift back and forth, causing alternating constipation and diarrhea. Difficulty swallowing, called dysphagia, is another major warning sign, especially if it starts with solid foods and gradually gets worse. People often say they have to cut their food smaller or even switch to softer foods just to get them down. This can happen when a tumor in the esophagus or stomach starts to narrow the passageway, making it harder for food to pass through. Here's why it matters so much. These symptoms often appear in the early to mid stages of cancer. If you act quickly, tests like a colonoscopy, endoscopy, or imaging scan can catch the cancer early, while it's still treatable. Don't brush off digestive changes just because they seem embarrassing to talk about. Your gut is one of the most reliable indicators of your health. When it starts behaving out of character for more than a few weeks, get it checked, because when it comes to cancer, early action saves lives. Most cancers don't appear without warning, your body sends signals. The key is paying attention to those signs and acting quickly. Subtle changes like unexplained weight loss, unusual bleeding, extreme fatigue, or persistent pain might not seem serious at first, but they could be early warnings of something much bigger. If you notice any of these 7 signs, don't wait, get checked right away. When it comes to cancer, early diagnosis can literally mean the difference between life and death. Catching it early gives you a much better chance at successful treatment and recovery. And here's something important. Don't keep this knowledge to yourself. Share this video with your friends and family because this information could save someone's life. Want to go a step further to protect your health? Watch my next video on the best anti-cancer foods you should be eating every day.